Hello all, welcome back. This is once again Dr. Sonia Musakutti. Today I will be continuing the part 2 of the maxillofacial prosthesis. So today we will be going through the defects of mandible and their prosthesis. So the defects of the mandible can be of two types, that is the congenital and the acquired defects, as I mentioned in the classification in the previous video. So the classification of the mandibular defects can be based on the amount of the resection or bone loss and the classification given by Shalian. The classification based on the amount of resection, the defects can be of two types, the continuity defect and the discontinuity defect. In case of continuity defect, the superior portion of the mandible is resected and the lower border is left intact. In discontinuity defect, the entire segment of the mandible is resected. There is no connections between the remaining parts of the mandible, resulting in the midline deviation of the mandible due to the movement of the bone. Next, we can go through the Shalian's classification. Here, he classified the mandibular defects into 8 types. The class 1 refers to the resection of the ipsilateral condyle. The class 2 refers to the resection of the ipsilateral condyle and the ascending ramus. Class 3 refers to the resection of the ipsilateral condyle and the body to the mid-symphysis. The class 4 refers to the resection of the ipsilateral condyle to the contralateral body. The class 5 refers to the total mandibulectomy. The class 6 refers to the resection of the mid-symphysis. The class 7 refers to the segmental resection of the body. And the class 8 refers to the marginal or coronal resection of the body. Now coming into the prosthesis. The prosthetic rehabilitation of the completely edentulous mandibular defects include mandibular guidance flange to guide the mandibular movements and the lip bumpers which are given to support the lower lip. The mandibular guidance flange is indicated for mandibulectomy patients, and this appliance consists of an RPD with a metal flange or acrylic ramps. Next comes the prosthetic rehabilitation of partially edentulous mandibular defects. Here, three processes can be used. For marginal mandibular resection, a mandibular guidance flange prosthesis or a palatal ramp prosthesis can be fabricated. For segmental midline defect, a magnet retained snap-on prosthesis or a bar supported overdenture or an implant supported prosthesis can be given. So that comes to an end to the mandibular defects and their prosthesis. Now we can go through the retention in maxillofacial prosthesis. The retention of a prosthesis is a very important factor, and they can be divided into two types, the intraoral retention and the extraoral retention. The intraoral retention include anatomic and tissue retained retention, tooth retained retention, implant retained, and combination. Extraoral retention include anatomical retention, mechanical retention, adhesive retention, craniofacial implants and its combinations. Next, we can briefly go through the materials used in the maxillofacial prosthesis. The materials available for making the maxillofacial prosthesis include metals and non-metals. The metals usually include cobalt chromium, which is used in the fabrication of framework of the definite prosthesis. The non-metal materials include acrylic resin and copolymers, polyvinyl chloride and copolymer derivatives, silicone elastomers, etc. First, we will go through the non-metal materials. First one is the acrylic resins. These are used in the fabrication of both intraoral and extraoral processes. The facial processes made of this material remains serviceable up to 2 years. The second one is the vinyl polymers and copolymers. They are copolymers of vinyl chloride and vinyl acetate. Next one is the silicones. Silicones are a combination of organic and inorganic compounds. The silicones are of two types, the heat temperature vulcanization silicones and room temperature vulcanization silicones. The heat temperature vulcanization silicones are a white opaque material with highly viscous putty-like consistency. It is available as one component or two component putty. The RTV silicones or the room temperature vulcanization silicones are much easier to process than the heat cured forms. But a major disadvantage is that the cosmetic appearance of these materials are much lesser than acrylics, polyurethanes and polyvinyl chlorides. So, on conclusion, the prosthetic rehabilitation of the maxillofacial defects is the most challenging for both the surgical team and the prosthetic team. So, it is very important for a prosthodontist to get involved in the surgery for a favorable prognosis. So that comes to an end to the topic maxillofacial prosthesis. I hope all of you found this video useful and interesting. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and share to your friends. Thank you.